Hi, my name is Patrick Montgomery, and this is a yoga practice that you can do at home to stimulate your immune system and to let go of some stress. We're going to focus today on opening the chest, and we'll practice with a lot of attention and a lot of care, because when we treat our bodies with love, they open. So let's get started. You'll need a yoga mat and a nice place to practice. A block, a strap, a belt, or maybe an old necktie could suffice. And also a yoga blanket or any kind of stiff blanket. This is a Mexican blanket that works great for yoga. Begin at the top of our mats, kneeling. Bring your knees together, the inner edges of your feet together, and then sit your hips onto your heels. Place your palms on your thighs. Close your eyes. Allow your body to settle. Bring your attention to the flow of your breath. Breathe in through the nose, inflating the backs of the lungs, the sides of the lungs, the inner body, and finally the chest. Feel your collarbones lift and widen. Exhale and keep your chest lifted. Inhale fully through the nose. Exhale and listen to the breath as it whispers through the vocal cords. One more breath. Inhale. And exhale slowly as you open your eyes. Clasp your fingers behind your back. Bend your elbows and point them back. And allow your thumbs to rest on your sacrum. Come back to your breath. Inhale and lift under the armpits. So the shoulders lift up to about the base of the neck. Keep that and draw the heads of the arm bones back. Bring your shoulder blades onto your back. And then lift your chest without pressing your ribs forwards. Let's hold this for a couple more breaths. Inhale. Widen your chest. Exhale. Draw your shoulders back further. Squeeze your elbows towards one another. Try to even press the inner edges of your hands together. Now, if you were unable to bind your hands like this, here's a place where you could use a strap. Release your hands and come onto your hands and your knees. Look down at your hands and separate them so that they're shoulder width apart. How wide are your shoulders? Make your hands that wide. And then look down at your hands and make sure that they're pressed flat into the floor and there's no space under the first finger knuckle. Walk your knees back if necessary so they're about 2 inches behind the hips. And place your knees hips width apart. Come back to your breath. Inhale through the nose and expand the inner body, feeling how the sides of the body lift and lengthen into the backs of the armpits. Keep that length. Exhale and melt your spine down as you squeeze your shoulder blades onto your back. Keeping that firm embrace of the upper back, move your chest forward and lift your chin. Look at the wall ahead. Keep your upper back integrated. Curl your toes under and lift your knees off the floor. Lift your hips up and stretch them back into downward facing dog pose. It's okay to keep your knees bent here. Inhale and expand all sides of your heart. Feeling the rib cage widen, the space between your shoulder blades widen. And then exhale, press down and forward through your hands. Inhale, push your hands into the floor, push your fingertips down, and firm your arm muscles. Then, lift your inner armpits away from the floor. Keeping your armpits cupped up, melt your chest down, and draw your shoulder blades towards one another on the back. Stretch from the strength of your upper back towards your hands again. Lift your hips higher and stretch your spine, extending the crown of the head towards the thumbs. Exhale and walk your feet forward between your hands. You can bend your knees so that you can reach the floor, or if you happen to have a couple of blocks, place your hands on blocks. Inhale, firm your legs and look up halfway. Extend your chest forward and then widen across your collarbones. Exhale, forward bend. Release the back of your head. Inhale, look up and lengthen your spine again. Exhale, round forwards. Inhale, look up, lengthen your spine. Bring your hands onto your hips. Draw your shoulders back, squeeze your upper back, and then come up to standing with your chest lifted and wide. Release your hands to your sides. Inhale, stretch your arms overhead. Full stretch. And then exhale, clasp your hands behind your back. Inhale, lift and widen your chest. And then exhale, pull your shoulders back, firm your shoulder blades onto your back, and lift your chest higher without pressing your ribs forwards. Tuck your chin to your chest. Lift your chest to your chin. Then fold forward over your legs. Inhale, stretch your outer shoulders up towards your hands. Exhale, draw your shoulder blades down the back, lengthening the back of your neck. Keep your chin tucked and stretch your wrists over the back of your head. Release your arms to the floor. Step your legs back into plank pose. Inhale here and lift the sides of your waistline up as you lengthen your shoulders over your knuckles. Exhale and place your knees on the floor. Inhale, move your hips back a little bit and arch your lower back. Exhale, place your chest and your chin on the floor. Inhale here, arch your back more and widen your chest into the mat. Keep it pressing down. Then roll your shoulders up onto your back. Squeeze your shoulder blades together, pull your elbows in beside your body. Feel your heart beating against the earth. On your next exhale, keep your toes where they are. Scoop your tailbone and slide forward onto your belly. Now point your toes behind you. Inhale, make your legs straight and strong, and then exhale, lengthen from the hips back to the toes. Press your hands down into the mat. Inhale and roll your shoulders up toward your ears and then onto your back. Draw your shoulder blades towards one another and then pull them down the back as you lift your chest up. Stretch your chest forward as you paw your hands back. Again, feel the radiant energy pulsing in the middle of your chest. Let's go to child's pose. Press back onto your knees. Press the floor away until your hips are on your heels. Exhale, lengthen your tailbone, round your spine, And then place your forehead on the floor. Stretch your arms. Inhale and come back up to your hands and your knees. Exhale, melt your chest down towards your thumbs. Squeeze your shoulder blades onto the back. Curl your toes under and lift your knees and hips up into downward facing dog. Inhale and surround your heart with your breath. Exhale, press down through your hands. Walk your feet forward. Inhale, look up and lengthen your spine from your legs towards your chest and chin. Exhale, round forward. Inhale, firm your legs and stand up, stretching your arms overhead and gazing up between your hands. Exhale, bring your hands together and down towards your chest. Keep your chest rising. Inhale, reach up, look up. Exhale, fold forward and place your hands on your blocks or on the floor. Inhale, look up and lengthen your spine. Exhale, step back into plank pose. Press your hands down. Inhale, lengthen your body. Exhale, place your knees on the floor. Inhale, arch your low back. Exhale, place your chest and chin on the floor. Inhale here. Exhale, roll your shoulders up onto your back and draw your shoulder blades together. And then focus on the bottom tips of your shoulder blades and push your chest down onto the floor more. Slide forward onto your belly. Clasp your hands behind your back. Rest your thumbs on your sacrum. Stretch your legs. Inhale and lengthen the back corners of your armpits up towards your ears. And in stage one, you can keep your head down. Just pull your shoulders back and firm your upper back. To challenge yourself, go to stage two. Inhale, lift your head and your feet up off the floor. Exhale, anchor your tailbone. Inhale, find more buoyancy with your breath. Exhale, keep pressing your head back and your shoulders back. Good. Release your head to the floor. Place your hands and press back into child's pose. Inhale, come to your hands and knees. Exhale, melt your chest and lift your hips up into downward facing dog. Inhale, lift and widen the backs of your ribs. Exhale, push from your upper back down into your hands as you lengthen your spine. On your exhale, bring your feet forward between your hands. Inhale, look up and lengthen your spine. Exhale, round forward. Inhale, look up and lengthen your spine. Then exhale as you step your right leg back into a lunge. Take a moment here and make sure that your left knee is directly over your left ankle. You might need to lengthen your right foot further back to come into a full lunge, one that will allow your left hip to drop down about as low as your knee. If that's feeling too deep, you can always put your hands on blocks, and if you don't have blocks, you could use books or improvise with something around the house. Now that you're in the pose, inhale and firm your back leg, lifting just above the knee and pressing your thigh bone back. Keep that. Exhale and bend a little deeper into your front leg. Now, stretch your chest forward and widen your collarbones as you look up. Switch sides. Step your right leg forward. Step your left leg back. Check the length of your stance. Inhale and make your back leg straight and strong. Lift your thigh away from the floor. Keep that. Exhale, deepen the bend on your front leg. Inhale, move your chest forward, lift your eyes. Exhale completely here. Inhale, step your left foot forward, and exhale, step your right leg back again. This time, we'll twist the pose. Move your right hand off of the mat onto the floor beside. Then inhale and hug your legs toward the midline. Inhale, stretch your arm up, your left arm up. And exhale, turn your torso to face the ceiling. Keep your chest wide, stretch your arms, and roll your shoulders back as you move your chest towards your chin. If it feels okay with your neck, look up. Inhale, bring your left hand down. And exhale, step your right leg forward. Let's switch sides. Step your left leg back. Inhale and hug your legs to the midline. Take your left hand over to the left side of the mat and extend your right arm upwards. Keep your legs hugged together. Push down through your feet, lengthen through your chest. Then make sure your shoulders are moving back. Widen your chest and turn your right side of your chest up towards your right hand. Extend your wings wide. Inhale, place your right hand on the mat. And exhale, step your left leg forward. Forward bend. Bring your hands onto your hips, pull your shoulders back and come up to standing. Now, take a wide stance facing the long edge of your mat. How wide should your feet be apart? Well, stretch your arms out to the sides and then look to see if your ankles are under your wrists. And if possible, if you have the strength in your legs, move your ankles as wide as your wrists. Inhale and firm your legs. Lift your chest. Then exhale, turn your right toes toward the top of the mat and make sure that your right ankle is lined up with your left arch. Keeping your left leg firm, bend your right knee to 90 degrees. Keep that, then turn your torso to face forward again. Exhale, push your feet down. Inhale, spread your toes and firm your legs. Exhale, lunge a little deeper. Reach up through the top of your head and out through your arms. You can turn your gaze to look over your right fingertips. Inhale, straighten your right leg. Turn your right toes forward. Turn your left toes out. Check again to make sure that your left heel is lined up with your right arch. Inhale, firm your legs, lift your chest, and widen your arms. Exhale, bend your left knee to 90 degrees. Inhale and twist your torso a couple of inches to the right. And then exhale, turn your head and look over your left hand. Find lightness in your breath. Inhale, feel it lifting up the sides of the body, lifting the arms. And exhale, stretch the arms from the heart to the hands. Good work. Straighten your front leg. Turn both toes to face forwards. Interlace your hands behind your back. Inhale, make your legs straight and strong as you lift the center of your chest up. Exhale, roll your shoulders back. find your shoulder blades hugging onto your back. Then, bring your chin to chest. Fold forward. Inhale, firm your legs. Exhale, press from your hips down into your feet, lengthening your legs. Inhale and lift your shoulders up towards your wrists. Exhale, draw your shoulder blades down the back, feeling the back of the neck lengthen. Keep your chin tucked to your chest and stretch your wrists overhead. Inhale, come back up to standing. Place your hands on your hips. Then, turn your right toes to face forward. Turn your left toes forward about 30 degrees so that your hips are facing the front of the mat squarely. Inhale, lift your chest. Then exhale, roll your shoulders onto your back and firm your upper back. Keeping your chest open, bend your front knee to 90 degrees. You can inhale and unbend, exhale, bend deeper. Just riding the wave of the breath here. Bending and straightening the front leg to get deeper into the pose. Then come to your edge and keep your front leg still. Inhale, lift your chest. Exhale, roll your shoulders back. Squeeze your elbows towards one another like you were holding a block between your elbows. Then lift your chest up, and if you wish, take your chin back and make it a back bend. Inhale, straighten your front leg. Exhale, step forward. Switch sides. Step your right leg back. Place your heel on the floor. Inhale, square your hips and your chest toward the top of the mat. And then exhale, bend your left knee. Inhale, bending, exhale, unbending the knee. And then bend your front knee and hold. Inhale, lift your chest. Exhale, widen your chest, pull your shoulders back, your elbows together. From the inner elbows to the edges of the shoulder blades, lift your heart toward the sky. Then, lengthen the back of your neck, move your chin back toward your ears, and back bend. Inhale, straighten your front leg, and exhale, step forward. Bring your palms together in front of your chest. Pull your thumbs down your chest, but then lift your chest back into your thumbs. Close your eyes and feel the radiant pulse of your heart. We'll begin by sitting on the edge of a rolled blanket in Baddha Konasana. Sit right on the edge. Then take your hands like this. I call this the forklift. And slide them under your ankles. Pull your ankles back and a little up so that your toe tips face down and your inner heels are lifted off the floor. Inhale, press your feet together. Roll your upper inner thighs down toward the floor and arch your back as you pull on your ankles and widen your chest. Take several breaths here. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. Inhale, press your feet together, and exhale, widen your knees closer to the floor. Release. Next, we'll do a pose called Virasana, or hero pose. It's a thigh stretch. We have a few options here for how to use our props. So you can unfold your blanket to this shape. And if kneeling on your shins hurts your ankles, you can put your shins on the blanket with your toes rolled off onto the mat. That way your feet don't have to point as much. And then if you're unable to sit down between your ankles, you can sit on a block. If you're able to go deeper, then you can take the block out. You can also take the blanket out. Sit all the way between your heels, not on your feet. And then check your feet, making sure that your toes aren't curled under your hips. Rather, pull your feet out wide until your second toe is facing straight back. Make sure that your knees don't widen apart, hold them parallel, and hug your outer shins in toward the edges of your legs firmly. Keeping that, press your fingertips down into the floor, lift your hips up, and then arch your lower back, moving your sit bones back and wide. Then draw your low belly in and allow your hips to settle down onto the floor. You can rest your palms on the tops of your thighs here and focus on your breath. This is stage 1. To go deeper, and this is only for people who are not sitting on a block. Stage 2, place your hands behind your feet. Keep your hips heavy on the floor. Draw your low belly in. Inhale, lift your chest. Exhale, widen your shoulders, pulling them back as you point your elbows. Draw your shoulder blades towards one another on the back and lift your chest higher. Stage 3, you can bring your hands to your feet and then go back onto your elbows. Make sure your elbows aren't too wide, walk them closer together. Keep your hips on the floor. Inhale, lift your chest. Exhale, roll your shoulders back and squeeze your shoulder blades onto the back to keep your chest lifted. Lengthen the back of your neck and then allow your chin to move down toward your ears. Then roll your head back and look behind you. Keep your chest lifting. To come out, lift your chest, place your hands behind you, push into the floor, and bring your head up last. Okay, unfold your legs. You can shake them out if they feel compressed. Then, take your blanket again, fold it out the long way, and roll it up. Roll it up nice and tight, like a camp pad. And then we'll lay that across our mat. We're going to lay our back right on the top of the roll so that the middle of our shoulder blades are sitting on the top of the roll, right here. Like this. Then, pick your hips up and roll back. What you'll feel is your shoulder blades beginning to slide down your back as you bring your shoulders to the floor. So make sure you roll back until you can get the heads of the arm bones on the mat. Then bring your arms into goal post and lay the backs of your hands on the floor. And release your hips and straighten your legs. Come back to your breath. This pose is therapeutic for all sorts of shoulder injuries and also starts to stimulate the region of the heart and uplift our spirits. As you inhale, just imagine that the breath is pouring across the chest. Exhale and press the back of your head into the floor. Press the heads of your arm bones back. Even your elbows and wrists, push them back. This is therapeutic for the wrists if you imagine that you have a 15-pound weight in each hand and you're getting the back of your hand flatter and flatter to the floor. To deepen the work in the chest, draw from the inner elbow to the back corners of the armpits, firm there. Then squeeze your shoulder blades towards one another. Bring the tips of your shoulder blades into the bottom of your chest. Lift your chest. Press your head and shoulders back. Release. Bend your knees and roll to your side and come up. Next we'll do bridge pose. So lay on your back. Bend your knees and bring your heels to the tips of your fingers. Separate your feet hips width apart and press them flat down into the floor. Then bend your elbows, pointing your fingertips straight up. Inhale. Exhale and press your elbows down into the floor. Feel your upper back start to engage, and with your shoulder blades, lift your chest and roll your chest towards your chin, much like when you were rolling over your blanket. This is stage one, just working into an upper chest back bend. Stage two, lift your hips up about as high as your knees. If you lift from the outer edges of the hips and the tailbone simultaneously, that will keep your knees from spreading wide. Come back to your breath, lifting the sides of your body up into an arc. And then exhale as you press down through your elbows, forearms, and the back of your head to get more lift through your spine. You can keep your elbows bent or clasp your hands behind you. Roll to the right and move the left shoulder further under you. Roll to the left, move the right shoulder further under you. Keep lifting your hips, your tailbone, your spine, and press your arms down into the floor. Keep your chin vertical and your chest moving toward it. Release. And rest one hand on your belly and one hand on your heart. Focus on the breath. Number 2, point your fingers toward the sky. Press your elbows into the floor. Inhale. Bring the breath up and through the collarbones. And then exhale, press your elbows down, lift your shoulder blades into the back and curl into your upper chest. Next, lift your hips up. Keep rooting down through your arms. Clasp your hands behind the back. Roll one side and then to the other side to get your arms closer together. Then press your elbows and your wrists into the floor. Bridge pose. Keep lifting the outer edges of the hips up, the tailbone up, and the entire spine up. Press your head, shoulders, elbows, and wrists into the floor. Release. Rest one hand on the belly and one hand on the chest. Feel the energy pulsing through your body, radiating from the center of the heart out toward the edges of the shoulders. Roll to your side and sit up. Next, you'll need your block. The block has its tallest setting like this, or quite a bit lower like that, or the lowest setting is flat on the floor. This pose has quite a few options. So the first one is the height of the block, and then the second one is to either do it with straight legs or legs bent back into Virasana. If you did this pose before sitting on a block, then do the pose we're about to do with your legs straight, because we won't be able to do this pose sitting on a block. Okay. Take the block, choose your height, and you want it to be placed in the center of the upper back when you lay back over it. Not down here low on the bottom ribs, but right in the middle of the upper back, between the shoulder blades. Take a moment and find your position on the block. Keep your outer legs hugging in, the tops of your thighs pressing down, and your navel drawn back towards your spine. Extend your arms up towards the ceiling. Inhale, widen your chest. And exhale, draw the heads of the arm bones down into their sockets. Squeeze your shoulder blades, lift your heart up and over the block. Now, do a double chin, move your chin down, and curl your head back to see the end of the mat. Interlace your hands and stretch your arms overhead. With every inhale, find more lift into the chest. As you exhale, curl your head back, deepening the pose. To come out, place your hands on the bottoms of your feet. Work your elbows under. Lift your chest. Press down to your hands and come up. Allow your head to roll up last. Next, grab your blanket, fold it out to this width, and place your blanket about 2/3 of the way up the mat, with the rolled edge of your blanket toward the head of the mat and the fringe toward the end. Have your block at hand, and again, you can have your block on its highest setting, a little lower, or lower still. This is called half shoulder stand. So I'm going to lay my shoulders on the mat, and I want to make sure they're not right on the edge, rather a few inches from the edge, so that when I roll back, I don't roll off. That seems pretty good. So my shoulders are on the blanket, and my head is on the floor. Okay. Just like you were doing in bridge pose, bend your elbows and point your fingers up. Then press your arms down to lift your chest and engage your shoulder blades on the back. Keep that, pick your hips up, and place the block underneath your sacrum. Allow your hips to rest heavily on the block. Then interlace your hands in front of the block and press your arms down into the floor. Keep your chest buoyant and your head pressing back, and don't look side to side once you're in this position. Bend your knees, stacking them over your hips, and take a moment here and allow your hips to rest heavily on the block. There can be a tendency to overlift the back of the hips. Straighten your legs. Keep your chest lifted and your head and arms pressed into the floor. Widen your feet apart. Then turn your inner thighs backwards. You'll see your heels start to widen. Then lengthen your tailbone up towards your heels as you draw your belly down toward the block. Re-squeeze the legs and extend with every breath up through the bottom of the feet as you keep pressing back through the head and arms. Almost there. Release your feet to the floor. Pick your hips up and take the block out from underneath your hips. Take a moment here for a few breaths. Roll to your side and sit up. You can move your blanket out of the way. Our peak posture today is one that will stimulate the immune system. In the center of the upper chest, just beneath the collarbones, there's a gland called the thymus, and its main function is the production of T cells. So when we lift and widen our chest, breathe into that area like we've been doing this whole practice, we actually stimulate our immune system. What's more, lifting the chest uplifts the spirit. So this is a perfect practice for any time that you're feeling a little bit down. Straighten your legs in front of you and lay back. Hold on to the backs of your hamstrings, right where they attach to your glutes. Bring the inner edges of your feet together, hug your legs tight, and then press the tops of your thighs down and feel how that already starts to arch your low back and widen your heart. Bring your elbows close in towards your sides, then press your elbows into the floor and lift your chest like this. Pause here. Inhale, breathe up and into the center of the heart. Then exhale, pull your shoulders back, squeeze your elbows towards one another, and your shoulder blades on the back. Then you can lengthen the back of your neck, drop your chin, and place the top of your head on the floor. Breathe here. To deepen, point your fingers up, press your elbows into the floor and lift your chest. Exhale, curl your head back, place it back down. Let's do that one more time. Bend the elbows, push them down. Lift, curl, grab the backs of your legs and pull to open your chest. To come out, pick your head up, tuck your chin, and lay back. Rest one hand on the belly and one hand on the heart. When we focus on the breath, it brings us peace. When we stimulate the heart, it makes our health more radiant. Bend your knees and place your feet on the floor. Eye of the needle pose. Cross your left ankle over the top of the right knee. Then widen your left knee. Bring your right knee towards your chest and interlace your hands around the front of your shin. Inhale and arch your low back, feeling more weight on your sacrum. And then keep that. Exhale and draw your knee closer to your chest. Keep your feet active. Your left knee moving forward so that your shin is parallel to the chest. Widen your chest. Release and switch sides. Place your left foot on the floor. Cross your right ankle over the top of the left knee. Move the left knee toward the chest and thread your right arm through the legs. Wrap your left arm around the front of the shin and clasp your fingers. Inhale, spread your toes. Arch your back, feel the weight of your sacrum bone. And then exhale, widen your right knee forward so that your knee and that your ankle are on the same plane. That's the setup. Now, you can deepen the pose by drawing the knee toward the chest. If your hips feel tight, breathe into the areas that feel restricted and soften. Release. Bring the knees and the ankles together. Move your hips over to the right edge of the mat. Then draw the knees partway toward the chest. Hug your legs together tight, and then drop your knees to the left. You can place the left hand on the top of the knees to guide them down towards the floor. In this pose, we want to keep our entire back flat on the floor and only let the hips and the knees swivel to the left. And that's a challenge. One way to get your shoulder down is like we've been doing. So you'll bend your right elbow, press your elbow into the floor, inhale, lift your chest, and then exhale, twist your shoulders to the right, and maybe you'll be able to get them flat on the floor. Now, pick your head up and look to the right. Extend your right arm flat onto the floor. Come back to your breath. Release. Pick your hips up and move them to the left edge of the mat. Hug your legs together firmly and twist your knees to the right. You can place your right hand on top of the knees. Bend your left elbow, press it into the floor, lift your chest, and twist your left shoulder down to the mat. Then pick up your head, look to the left, and extend your left arm out to the side. Come back to your breath. Deep twists are detoxifying for the internal organs. To finish your practice today, bring your knees to the chest. Wrap your arms around them, clasping each elbow. Exhale and round your head towards your shins. Remembering that when we treat our bodies with love, they open, they heal. Release your head to the floor and come to Shavasana, the final rest pose. You can allow your legs to flop out toward the corners of the rooms. Turn your palms to face up and lie here and receive the benefits of the practice for at least 5 minutes. Thank you for practicing. Namaste.